Sounds really good. It's not too extreme. Well, how's it going, JDM crew? John here from JDM Expo with surprisingly not as loud as I was expecting R33. This is the LM edition. A lot of you guys have been waiting for this video. We've had plenty of inquiries since we got it in. Well, they finished up the work. We've got plenty of mods added on here, so it's real healthy. That exhaust that I'm talking about is an Apex I. So I believe it's the N1. Definitely a personal favorite of mine for having maximum flow and not being too loud. So while I wait for this light to change, well, here we go. I'll try to, yeah, I mean, I don't even know if the mic's picking it up. Probably these trucks are louder. Probably hear the intake a lot more than the exhaust, which is kind of wild. It does have a custom catalytic converter. So they took the cat and they customized the piping so it's a lot better flow all around. Oh, that throttle response. Huh. It's a lot better than I was expecting. So a stock LM, which we did have some time ago. You guys might have seen the video from at least 2 years ago. It's a good one. 3 years ago now, in fact. Jeez. Make sure it's all clear. There we go. But yeah, wow, this is very smooth. Definitely smoother than and not as noisy as when we got it. Yeah, we do have some new wheels and tires on there, so it's pretty smooth. So overall, yes, this is an LM edition. It is an actual LM. Got some exterior touch-ups, some front bumper painting, as well as the front lip, so everything's just kind of freshened up, clear coat and everything. Suspension, we've got a Tane suspension, so you can see that green later on. I'll show you guys in the engine bay. But yeah, for the interior, it's stock. So stock LM. And yeah, the dash is in pretty good shape. There is a hole underneath here because previous owner had a gauge installed there, so instead there's a air freshener right now. We've got the FAW carbon look all around, you know, so it's pretty standard for R33s in the mid-90s, so nothing unusual there. We do have the OEM cassette deck and climate control here. The triple gauge set that's standard with R33s is still there too, so they didn't move that around. I'm kind of suspecting that they put a boost gauge over here, if anything. So that's a very common thing, though. Someone will put it here. There is another hole on the side here, so they did have multiple gauges up previously, so whoever had it before had that. But since we got it in stock, and of course getting all the work done, a lot of the engine stuff was taken care of, including the clutch. They drained the system and refilled it with some fresh oil. I'll go through the parts later, but we also have plenty of plumbing in the engine bay, which I'm going to demonstrate in a minute here, that you can hear it really well. The twin air filter intake and of course larger intercooler and intercooler piping. Definitely a fan. I've driven many different R33s and I even had a GTST back in the day, so I can tell you a lot about them. And this one, compared to the previous LM that we had, which was bone stock, this one with plenty of mods to open it up a little bit, I'm feeling better throttle response, better brake response too, despite the fact that they both have Brembo gauges. So they did change out a lot of the fluids on this and just freshened up everything real nicely. Well, that exhaust was not as loud as I was expecting. So actually, yeah, with the proper N1 exhaust, it definitely puts out a little bit more power than stock. And it's pretty smooth throughout the entire RPM range. So with the opened up intake and exhaust, better intercooler. We also have the Apex I front pipe on the turbo. But overall, just it's flowing really nicely. So yeah, just wasn't screaming super loud like some of the other ones, but definitely delivered very smooth power throughout the RPM band. Definitely like it, and I think you guys are going to love the exterior here too once we get to the warehouse. Let me show you around. Let's fast forward to that. Alrighty, and starting from the interior here, and we'll get to the walk around here in a second. Just open up the door to get some more lighting in there. You see the carpet's in good shape. Seats are pretty normal here. And check the back there. Get some light in there so you can see. Alright, and then for the dash, a little bit of dust from earlier while I was driving. And yeah, we got this, it's the hole for the gauges there. I got some on the other side too, but they had this there. Good old air freshener, and then you can see right here also a little bit, there's a little patch of tape over that hole, so you can put gauges back if you want. And here's the mileage for you. The triple gauges, the original audio deck there. Aftermarket shift knob. It doesn't want to focus because it's too close, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. Alright, and as I step out here, you can see the original steering wheel with the airbag. And door panels on both sides looking good. Alright, now I'll close the doors here and give you the walk around on the exterior. And alrighty, so I'm gonna go through a little bit of the list here and show you guys what's going on with this exterior. You guys can just take it all in and enjoy the view. And you can see the new wheels and tires do fit really nicely with this setup. And so in the front here, they did touch up the front bumper and repair the rear or the lower lip spoiler right there. And yeah, I was kind of mixing it up here because they did do some work on the rear spoiler as well. So front lip and rear spoiler were repainted. And oh yeah, you could kind of see that Tane suspension, by the way, underneath here. See that green goodness right there, absolutely gorgeous, brand new, by the way. So it is fully adjustable. The old shocks were just old and not adjustable, so, well, sorry, I can't get a good view up there. See, there it is behind all that. So yeah, suspension is in good shape there. It was very comfortable on the drive over here, so it was a good time. And with these wheels and tires, it's not see, 225 40 18s. So 18s, good way to go. We got Brembos all around, by the way. That's OEM. And so they actually, it had one of the like duckbill spoilers originally, so the original owner had modified that, so we put on the original LM and freshened up the paint on this one, so it's back to its normal former glory. So all good there. Some of the stickers were also replaced because they were faded, so the V-Spec and the, well, not this one, but I believe the other side, the GTR stickers. Yeah, they made sure to keep everything fresh and original. And yeah, we'll get into this engine bay here and show you a little bit more what they got going on here. And we could probably already notice the fresh radiator here. Got fresh hoses, by the way, silicone. And we got intercooler piping, which is rather interesting because we've got a HKS intercooler, which is pretty hefty, by the way, if you look down here. Thick. And we got gritty plumbing, so really nice, very high flow. You can hear it, sounds good, breathes really well. You can see some of that piping in there. And we got the Tain suspension there with the torque spec stickers. So basically we know that those are sealed. Well, they set it and they put a little seal on it. So they did change out the fluids like I was mentioning earlier. They did get a fresh ECU and they retuned it with these new parts. So with all the better breathing and everything, they did the air fuel check, and it was on a regular dyno, not on the high power dyno. So they just made sure everything was in good running order. You can see a nice gold cover on this RB26. Yeah, so basically everything was really freshened up. And they did replace the belts, so we got fresh belts down in there. Everything's running pretty good. And you can see a little bit more of that plumbing. And oh, besides what you're seeing here, a little bit farther down, the power steering hoses were replaced, so that's a big help. Just making sure that pretty much everything was really freshened up on here. And as I mentioned earlier, the clutch, and they have the hose bleeder bolts, and they replaced all the fluid, so you can see that fresh brake and clutch fluid. So yeah, and here's some numbers for you guys wanting to know a little bit more about this one. And besides this, looking all fresh there, they actually refreshed parts of the coating underneath. So if you guys live in a more wintry area, this is also ready to deal with any of those conditions. So you guys wouldn't have to worry about the underneath being messed up from any salted roads or sand or anything like that. So they freshened up the coating underneath there, which you see a little bit under here also. So they made sure that everything was ready to go. And you can see that exhaust piping there, the Apex I exhaust, or Apexy, however you want to say it, with custom cat piping. But yeah, with that resonator back there, definitely sounds really good. Here it is. Pretty much minimal bends, maximum flow. It's a good time. And you can see the beautiful green Tain suspension right there. That resonator definitely helps, because that was definitely not screaming even under full throttle, but it sounded really good. Well, there you have it, folks. Another great LM. It's been a while since we've had one, so it's kind of nice to see that really nice blue here. So it's definitely very unique. Like you saw underneath the hood there, a lot of mods. We got all the fluid changes, a lot of clutch service, the hoses and the fluids all flushed out. You know, we got some fresh brake fluid in there too. A lot of the fluids were already changed out on this, so prior to it, you know, finally having a video, we were really waiting on that exhaust, which was finally put on last month.
It was on back order. A lot of things are slow, as you guys are probably familiar with everywhere in the world, so it took us a while to get that one in. It was at least a good 2 months, and a lot of you guys have been inquiring, so definitely hit up our sales team, info@jdm-expo.com, with your questions. Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, all of that will go to our sales team. Just DM them. They'll be able to get back to you within about 24 hours. Definitely, we've had a lot of questions about this since some of you guys saw the preview on Instagram and all that. So yeah, finally all ready to go. And as you can see with a lot of the mods there, really good stuff. Fresh radiator and power steering, belts, the covers there, the rocker cover, all that. The engine things all replaced, as you can already see here with the bumpers and everything else. With that walk around, you guys know, a lot of good stuff. And that exhaust, which is really, really toned down. So very tame for a lot of you guys that might be in more restrictive areas in terms of exhaust tone. It's definitely got you covered. Sounds good even at full throttle, where it's not blasting out too much. It's definitely, yeah, they took the edge off, but it definitely pulls really nicely. So thanks for watching, guys, and definitely inquire about this, and hopefully it satisfies a lot of you guys that already had questions. They've been asking on Instagram and Facebook and all that. And I don't know when we'll have another LM for a while, so this is pretty awesome. And yeah, definitely check if you guys want to have the detailed parts list, because they definitely had like a good, I don't know, it was pretty good amount of work done to it since we got it. Got all that paint touched up and everything like that, and you know, really, really, really very smooth. I was really glad with driving over here that well, I am actually going to be putting it in the garage now, so she will be well taken care of. So as always, guys, thanks for watching, and you know what to do. Definitely hit up our sales guys. They'll let you know more about that in the process, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.